Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. This video will be entitled Endtime Headlines with the subtitle of Russia and Iran, the most violent era. All right, the world's most violent era. And it's going to be from some articles that I have here from the Endtime Headlines. This is the website, the Endtime Headlines. One of the articles says the world, this is the headline, the world has entered the most violent era it has been in decades. And then we also have another article here, same website. It says Iran seals defense pact with Russia as U.S. nuclear tensions continue to escalate. This one is from May 25th, 2025. The other one is from May 24th, 2025. I got these two articles from brothers on the chat. Let's go into this one first. This one is Iran seals defense pact with Russia as nuclear tensions continue to escalate. All right. So going right into it with no delay. It says Iran's recent ratification of a 20-year strategy partnership with Russia marks a significant escalation in military and economic cooperation between the two nations, coming at a time of heightened tensions with the United States over Iran's nuclear program. So also I want to make sure I will put these two links to these articles, both of these articles, in the description of the video, as well as on the comment board of the same video. Okay, so you can find it in two places. Lord willing, I make sure to pin these two links. All right. It goes on. It says this development, reported by Newsweek on May 21st, 2025, underscores a broader geopolitical realignment as both countries seek to counter Western influence amid ongoing sanctions and diplomatic stalemates. The agreement signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian in January 2025 and ratified by Russia's legislature in April, formalizes a deep alliance that includes provisions for joint military exercises, defense technology sharing, and the coordination against shared threats. So they're allies. As we've been telling you, Russia is going to get into World War III or Armageddon. Russia and their allies against America and their allies. This is how you're going to be brought into the battle, because they're going to be a guard over Persia, as the scriptures tell you, and America going to keep on because they don't want, because of the Israelis are afraid of Iran having nuclear weapons. You know, it's going to be, since you going against my brother, I'm going against you. It goes on. It says, notably, the pact stops short of a mutual defense clause, reflecting Russia's caution about becoming entangled in Iran's regional conflicts. This strategy partnership is seen as a response to intense pressure from Western sanctions, with both nations aiming to build an alternative defense and economic frameworks to challenge U.S. dominance. Continuing on, it says, economically, the pact facilitates over 95% of bilateral trade between Iran and Russia to be conducted in rubles and rials by bypassing Western financial systems. So they're going to use their currencies and not dollars. It says a separate free trade agreement. Excuse me. Let me slow down. A separate free trade agreement with Russia, with the Russia-led Eurasian Economic Union, effective last week, further reduces tariffs and boosts trade. Russia has also committed to supporting Iran's nuclear energy sector, including the construction of additional nuclear power units, which adds another level of complexity to the ongoing nuclear tensions with the West. Militarily, the partnership strengthens Iran's capabilities, particularly through collaboration on drone technology. So think about that. We know Russia got they got the top, some of the top technology when it comes to drones and nuclear weapons. So they're going to share it with Iran. It says Iran has supplied Russia with Shahed drones extensively used in the Ukraine conflict, and the two nations are working together to manufacture drones domestically to circumvent Western sanctions. While Iran denies allegations of providing ballistic missiles to Russia, Western officials continue to raise concerns about the deepening military ties. The timing of the Iran-Russia pact is critical as it coincides with faltering nuclear negotiations between Tehran and Washington. The U.S. under President Donald Trump has reinstated its maximum pressure campaign, imposing stringent sanctions on Iran's oil exports, banking sector, and defense industries. These measures have led to a severe economic downturn in Iran, with the rial plummeting and inflation exceeding 40%. So I'm thinking, and I don't know this because I don't get into a lot of the currencies of the other nations, but I guess the rial is like Iran's main currency. Like we have dollars here. Europe has the euro and the pound. Russia got rubles. I think Israel got shekels, and so on and so forth, right? The Swiss got the franc, the Swiss franc. So, let's actually go and see if we can bring up the currencies of the nations. See if we can do that. Top currencies. Top currencies of the world. Let's do that. I'm curious to see where these rank. And that is just a little added bonus. That's a little added bonus. All right, just to give you a background. Brazilian real, Fijian dollar, Bulgarian lev, New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, Brunei dollar, Singapore dollar, Canadian dollar, Panamanian balboa, Swiss franc, euro, pound sterling. So, this is interesting. US dollar, largest reserve currency. Kuwaiti dinar, strongest currency. Wow. Omani Real, oil wealth. Interesting. Here we got from Forbes. And this is exciting stuff to get into. Like I said, a little added bonus. If we go here, this is our top 10 strongest currencies in the world in January 2025. So let's see what they are. The top 10. So number 1, the Kuwaiti dinar. The Kuwaiti dinar is the strongest currency in the world, with one dinar buying $3.26. Or put another way, $1 equals 31 cent Kuwaiti dinar. Wow, that's fire. The Bahraini dinar is the second strongest currency in the world, with the one dinar buying $2.65. See, that oil is heavy. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? Oil wealth. Omani Real. The Omani Real is the third strongest currency in the world. All right, let's see. The Jordanian dinar, the British pound. All of these are above the dollar. The British pound is the fifth strongest currency in the world, with 1 pound buying $1.22. Cayman Islands dollar, tied for 6. Which the Gibraltar pound is tied for 6. Also, the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc is tied for 8th among the strongest currencies in the world. Then you got the euro, right? Also tied for 8th. And then you got the US dollar. The US dollar is the 10th strongest currency in the world, with $1 buying $1, obviously. Wow. All other units of currency across the globe are worth less than $1. Okay, so that's all good to know. Good to know. And it may be different by now, This is from January 2025. Now we're in the 5th month, so it's probably the same. But anyway, that's a big deal. See, that's what wars get fought over, when it's shit like this, these nations making these defense pacts. I should have brought up the top 20. Top 20 currencies. See if we can do that. Top 20. Top 20 currencies in the world. Top 20 strongest currencies in the world. I'm curious to know this. This is, things we need to know. According to the UN, there are 180 currencies in circulation in the world. Certain currencies are more valuable than others, some significantly more so. This doesn't necessarily make one country richer than another. Yes, it does. But the strength of a currency does not correlate with a country's GDP and stability. Yeah, but we know that oil money, man. Okay, so 20 is Brazilian real. Then you got the Fijian dollar, Bulgarian lev, New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, Brunei dollar, Singapore dollar, Canadian dollar, Bermudian dollar, Panamanian Balboa, Bahamian dollar. That's hard to believe. Bahamas money is up there near the top. The US dollar, Swiss franc, the euro, British pound, Cayman Islands dollar, Jordanian dinar, Omani rial, Bahraini dinar, and Kuwaiti dinar. All right. So if I had to guess, this Omani rial is probably, I don't know, because it says it's from Oman. It's supposed to be the top 20. I'm surprised that Saudi Arabia is not in there, and Russia. But it is what it is. Those are the top 20 currencies according to this currency transfer. Okay, that was just a segue. I wanted to read that and see. Let's go back into this. We know that the dollar is always in the top anyway. Notice there wasn't no African currency in there. Let's start back right here. These measures have led to a severe economic downturn in Iran, with the real Hamitic dollars in there. Oh shit. Doo-doo dollars. These measures have led to a severe economic downturn in Iran, with the rial plummeting and inflation exceeding 40%. Despite this pressure, Iran remains steadfast in its refusal to halt uranium enrichment, a key sticking point in talks. Yeah, and America don't want Iran getting that enriched uranium because they don't want them having capabilities to build nuclear weapons, but you ain't going to be able to stop it, man. As the scriptures tell us, let's see if we can bring one up. And Salakia, we're going to bring up Ezekiel if we can. Persia. See, in the scriptures, it tells you that the Medes are going to help. They're going to help these nations out. This is, if I can find it here, just bear with me. Not the one I wanted. Let's go back. Ezekiel 38. Right? I'm going to start at Ezekiel 38, verse 1. It says, prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Ezekiel 38, verse 1. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against it, which this represents the Russians. And say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And Gog, again, is Russia. Magog is the land. Okay, prophetically, this is going into. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. See, so when you go into this, right, this is going to be, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. So right now they're being gathered up. The Most High is doing what he said he would do. In Joel chapter 3, he's gathering up these nations and he's getting them prepared to fight in the great battle of Armageddon. Now here, it says the nations will be judged. Now let's go back and read a little bit more of this, because you got Russia, a key player, making an agreement with Persia, right? It goes on, it says a fifth round of U.S.-Iran nuclear talks is scheduled to take place in Rome. Look at this. Mediated by Oman. Now, what do we read in that in the currency? That Oman had one of the Omani Rial had one of the top currencies, right? Because of that oil money. But the prospects for a breakthrough are dim. The U.S. demands a complete cessation of Iran's enrichment activities, while Tehran insists on its right to a peaceful nuclear program and the lifting of sanctions. And Tehran is the capital of Iran. Okay. So it says the U.S. they want them to completely stop trying to enrich their uranium, which they're not going to do it because Russia's going to help them. Let's read that again. The U.S. demands a complete cessation, meaning for them to cease, of Iran's enrichment activities, while Tehran insists on its right to a peaceful nuclear program and the lifting of sanctions. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has emphasized Iran's determination to pursue a just and balanced deal, but the deepening alliance with Russia may harden Tehran's negotiating stance, potentially complicating diplomatic efforts. The Iran-Russia pact signals a strategic alignment that could reshape regional and global dynamics. For Iran, the agreement provides a critical hedge against Western isolation and bolsters its position amid setbacks in the Middle East, such as the fall of Syria's Bashar al-Assad, a key ally. For Russia, it secures a vital partner in the Middle East, enhancing its influence as it navigates its own challenges in Ukraine and beyond. The partnership also raises concerns about a broader anti-Western axis, with Iran and Russia increasingly aligning with countries like China. Joint naval drills with China in the Gulf of Oman earlier this year highlight this growing cooperation, which could further complicate U.S. efforts to maintain regional stability. Now, why does America worry about the Middle East region? Because they got a foothold over it. They're trying to control shit, because we told you the wicked controls the world, okay? Bottom line. Now, this right here is making more tension with the United States and Russia. See, but Russia is backing Iran, and they've been do that. So this is the whole thing. Iran seals defense pact with Russia as U.S. nuclear tensions continue to escalate. And it's going to just continue to escalate because the Lord is going to bring these nations together to fight. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." What does it mean? When you take your plowshares and pruning hooks and spears are instruments for farming. Plowshares and swords, let me rephrase. Plowshares and pruning hooks are instruments for farming. Swords and spears are instruments of war. So the countries are going to take their money that they would have spent on agriculture and farming, and they're investing in their militaries, right? They're investing in war. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. That nuclear capability. That's what Iran been wanting for the longest time. They argue it's for peaceful means, nuclear energy, but America knows better than that. They know that they just want nuclear weapons, but that's the new thing. All countries want nuclear capabilities, and really the United States don't have a right to tell these other countries that they can't have it. They're gonna get it. The Most High gonna put the spirit on. He already has put the spirit on the Russians to help. Verse 11 says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause our mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And this is gonna be Armageddon. Okay, all the nations gonna fight. Right now, the Lord is just mustering up the hosts, getting them all ready. That's all He's doing, getting them ready, because all nations gonna be judged through the great battle of Armageddon. It says, "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord, for the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, is near in the valley of decision." So that time is getting close. The Lord is going to bring Armageddon to pass, just a matter of time. If you read in Revelation 16, you actually see the word Armageddon. It's speaking of this same event that's going to culminate, it's going to end Esau's world. This is Revelation chapter 16 and verse 13. And I'm going to go right to the point. Verse 15, it says, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame." And the garments is what? The garment is this truth, being in this truth and having 100% truth, the understanding of it. Otherwise, you're naked. It says, "And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, or Har-Magadwan, which means mountain or valley of troops, which really is in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat." You see, and we're preparing and waiting for this by prophesying, right? And the Great Awakening is going on, the Great Awakening of the Hebrew Israelites. So as the title of our camp was Friday evening, there's only a few more prophecies left to the end of the world. This is what you see. These talks and this stuff right here is bringing prophecy along. It's exciting and we can't wait. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go into this other article and we're going to tie it in. All right, so stay tuned. All right, so continuing on, this is another article. This one is from the Endtime headlines as well. And we introduced this in the opening of the video. Now it says the world has entered the most violent era it has been in decades. This is also from the Endtime headlines. Now it says opinion. In recent years, the global landscape has been marred by an alarming surge in violence, with researchers and experts describing the current era as one of the most violent in decades. According to comprehensive analysis by The Telegraph, at least 50 countries experienced armed conflict in the past year, a scale of global unrest not seen since the post-World War II era. This article explores the factors contributing to this unprecedented wave of violence, drawing on data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data, the ACLED, and insights from the Global Peace Index. The Telegraph reports that 2024 marked a peak in global violence, with 56 active conflicts across 50 countries, one of the highest counts since 1946. These conflicts range from the civil war in Myanmar to the ongoing war in Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza. The data compiled by ACLED and the Uppsala Conflict Data Program indicates that over 1 million fatalities have been recorded from armed conflicts between 2020 and 2024, surpassing the total deaths from conflicts between 2010 and 2019. This sharp rise is largely attributed to three major conflicts: the 2021 military coup in Myanmar, Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, and the Israel-Hamas war that began in 2025. These conflicts have alone accounted for more than half of the fatalities recorded in 2024. And if you look hard enough, I will guarantee you that you will find the so-called white man involved in all of these, namely this damn devil from over here in America. Now, that military coup over there in Myanmar, where they overthrowing the regime and doing all that, that's what America majors in. Okay, they destabilize regions by doing that shit. That's how they keep a foothold over the world. I guarantee you they got something to do with it. And definitely with the Russian-Ukraine, that whole thing, that's definitely got to do something with Esau and the Israel-Hamas war. All right. Now, when you go into the scriptures, the last time the world got as violent, what did the Lord do? Well, let's read it now. This is Genesis 6, verse 5. It says, "And the power saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. All right, because you had a lot of violence going on the earth. It says, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And it's the same thing now. The elect, right, from that time was Noah and his household. But from that, you brought forth the seed of, you had the sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And from Shem came forth all the righteous man when you go down through Abraham, Isaac, then Jacob. It's the same type of thing. There was too much violence on the earth. People was doing whatever they wanted to do. And, just the same way now. It's even more so. I was out doing a walk today, and I was just looking at the people. Whenever I go out now, I just look at the people. And everybody it's exceedingly wicked how people behave. And the way that their minds work, everything. It's just so evil and wicked. And the Lord prophesied about this. Let's see here. Let's get Matthew. Is it? That shit was going to get worse than it's ever been on the planet. This is why the Lord is going to bring forth World War III, as we did the first part of the lesson, was the article dealing with the Iran and Russia pact, the nuclear deal. The Lord is preparing to get rid of this current regime, because this place is too fucking wicked. This is Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what should be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So the question was asked of the Savior, when is the end of the world coming? And the Lord gave them a list of signs. He went on telling them what to look for. And the end of that world meant what? The end of an age, an era, a system, an empire, which currently we're in, still in Rome. We're in the Roman Empire, which is the last leg of it, which is the kingdom that will be in rulership immediately preceding the coming of the Lord. Now you go here, verse 6, it says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See? So what did we just get finished reading about? The most violent time? Wars, the Myanmar thing, Russia, Ukraine, and the Israel and Hamas thing. But there's other skirmishes going on as well on the planet right now, currently as we speak. Continuing on, it says, see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So we're currently in the beginning of the sorrows. But when you go further down, let's keep reading. It says, verse 10, we'll jump to verse 10. We'll just keep reading. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. Now that happened to who? That happened to the disciples, the Lord, even Apostle Paul and his men as well. But they're also going to come after us at an appointed time. It says, ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Some of that's happening now. Some more of it's going to come in the future. It says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. That's happening now. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's going on now. Iniquity is abounding. It's everywhere. You look at the women now. What do they look like? Every woman desires to have a perfect body. So what are they going to do? They're going to cut on it. They're going to get an operation. They're going to get them BBLs, them breast jobs, and the boob jobs or whatever. They're going to mess with their lips, their nose, right? And what comes along with that? Whoredom. More whoredom. And the men are engaging in it too. They get involved. I mean, your average American citizen is completely wicked, man. Completely wicked. The only people that the Lord is even dealing with or concerned with is his, right now, the hopeful elect, which eventually will become his elect. All those that endure. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So right now you got the wickedness going on. right? Do you not? And the gospel is being preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. So we're really close to the end. And that violence is a signal. Things are going to get worse than they've ever been on the planet. And the violent man is talked about in the scriptures. If you do a search on the violent man, King David prophesied about that. Okay, the violent man is Esau Edom himself. He is the violent man. Because when you read in the scriptures, it tells you what his purpose would be, or what his main goal would be. Let's go there and read it now. That's why I say that no matter where you look, any skirmishes going on the earth, any armed conflicts, you got that who? You got that devil there. The so-called white man is stirring it up. And what will he do? He would overthrow your current government, which he was probably the one that put it in place, and then put up a puppet leader there, and then use democracy, which is really just against the people. The rulers, the ruling people that's in authority, they set them up and they'll be taken care of, but the people will be oppressed. Revelation 6:4, by that current system that they put in place, that democracy. The so-called white man has used peace to destroy many. Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red. What's the red for? The Roman Empire, right? And Esau Edom. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon. For what purpose? To take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So that's his weapon, that's his killing ability, right? The Lord told Esau that back in the or Isaac told Esau that was one of his blessings. By thy sword there was given unto him a great sword, meaning what? Ability to kill, to manufacture weapons. Genesis 27 and verse 39. Verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. You see, so it's been given to Esau that he would take peace from the earth. So whenever you hear about violence going on all over the earth, you know that this devil has his hand in it, and it even tells you that. Let's see if we got Revelation 17 first. I don't know if this is correct, but let's get it. Revelation 17, all the way down near the last verse. Revelation 17 verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And the great whore is that great city that reigneth over the kings of the earth. So who reigns over all the kings of the earth? America, Babylon the Great. Now if we go forward from here, verse 18, all the way down at the bottom, Revelation 18:24, it says, and let's jump in here, verse 23. It says, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And Myanmar is part of that. Ukraine, Russia, you know, that it is Israel and Gaza conflict. All of that is part of it. It says, in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, that's the Israelites, and of all that was slain upon the earth. So this place has influence over everything going on. The so-called white man Esau got his hands in everything. He was given power to take peace from the earth. This fucker, nothing is going on the earth that he don't know about. You think they were just in Myanmar, they was over there just fighting. It was a military coup. He didn't have shit to do with it. Yeah, he had something to do with it. It goes on, it says, these conflicts alone accounted for more than half of the fatalities recorded in 2024. The distribution of violence has also become more widespread. Unlike previous decades where conflicts were often concentrated in specific regions, 2024 saw every major region of the world grappling with significant levels of armed conflict. And really, let's say if you thought these nations was fighting because they're trying to get power for themselves, they're not going to. The white man is in authority over the earth. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24. It says Europe, driven by the war in Ukraine, accounted for 33% of global conflict. Look at that, 33%. That's a third of all global conflict. And then you got Israel and Hamas. That's another big portion. That's damn near all of it. Europe, driven by the war in Ukraine, accounted for 33% of global conflict-related deaths, while Gaza was identified as the most dangerous and violent place in 2024, with over 80% of its population exposed to conflict and at least 35,000 fatalities recorded. Good Lord. One of the defining features of today's conflicts is their complexity. Cleonard Raleigh, the founder and director of ACLED, or Accolade, notes that the proliferation of armed groups has made conflicts more fragmented and harder to resolve. In Myanmar, for instance, an estimated 3,000 new armed groups have emerged since the 2021 coup, adding to the already volatile mix of pre-existing factions. This constant churn of groups, as Raleigh describes, complicates peace negotiations and prolongs violence. And you can go and read more of this. It's pretty long. I don't want to read all of that. But as you can see, lots of violence going on. Let's read a few more lines of this, and then we'll just go ahead and get the scriptures. Now it says, the Telegraph highlights that conflicts are not only more widespread, but are also more deadly and intricate, with non-state actors and regional powers increasingly involved. And where do you think all the weapons coming from? You think they're making high-powered weapons on their own? Hell no. All them damn weapons probably was manufactured by Western powers. Or it could be proxies. People that are given the technology from either Russia or America to design the weaponry, and then they sell them to these groups. That's all it is. It says the Global Peace Index further underscores this trend, noting that fewer conflicts are being resolved through military victories or peace agreements. This protracted nature of modern conflicts, coupled with their global reach, has led experts to estimate that at least 1 in 6 people worldwide is exposed to some level of conflict. And when you go to those Edomite countries, everybody got guns. Even over here in Babylon the Great, everybody got weapons. You had this one nigga going on and on about when he preaching that they call it Little Mecca, because it got the YNs out there with how did he put it? YNs out there. They got, I don't know if he mentioned guns, but he didn't use the word guns. But hell, everybody got weapons. These white people got more guns than you niggas got. This figure reflects a significant increase in the human toll of violence compared to previous decades. Yeah, because shit is just getting worse and worse. To understand the scale of the current crisis, it's worth comparing it to historical benchmarks. The Telegraph notes that the annual global death toll from armed conflicts has hovered around 200,000 since 2021, peaking at over 310,000 in 2022 following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And I mean, hell, widespread conflicts and wickedness on the earth, the Lord gonna come and remove all of that. When Yahushua comes, it's gonna be peace on earth, but for now, they fighting it out. They getting it in. So when you read about the violent man, let's go to Two Samuel 22. I'm gonna jump in here, verse 47, because King David was speaking partly about his own tribulations, but he was also prophesying in the spirit. It says, the Lord liveth, verse 47, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the God of the rock of my salvation. It is the Most High that avengeth me, and that bringeth down the people under me, and that bringeth me forth from mine enemies. Thou also hast lifted me up on high above them that rose up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. And in the future, the violent man will be who? By thy sword shalt thou live. Unto him was given a great sword, so-called white man Esau. See? The violent man. And it's in other places in the scriptures as well. Psalms 18:48. It really is repeating what was in Psalm in 2 Samuel. It says, He delivered me from mine enemies. Yeah, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. Psalm 140:1. A Psalm of David. Deliver me, O Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Let's read that again. Verse 2 says, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually they are gathered together for war. Who you think that is? You think that's talking about, some wicked Israelites? It says they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adders' poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins, which are traps, for me, Selah. I said unto the Lord, Thou art my God. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Verse 8, grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves, Selah. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Look at this. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. And he's talking about who? The damn Edomites. The so-called white man Esau. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. And that evil is going to be World War III. That's why it's so important with this nuclear deal with Iran and Russia. These nuclear pacts. You got North Korea also nipping at the heels, chomping at the bit, and other nations. And the Lord has said in 2nd Ezra that he's going to overthrow them. Let's go there real quick. Now, this is dealing with the Roman Empire, but we're going to read it. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 38. It says, Hear thou. So, let's start at 37. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle. So the roaring lion is the lion from the tribe of Judah, Yahweh Shai. The eagle represents the Roman Empire. Okay. It says, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. That's what the so-called white man has done. He did it way back, going back, the Greeks first, but then the Romans, he really came into power, right? It says, For the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up into the highest, and thy pride into the mighty. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, which that great eagle at that time with those heads and feathers and claws, all of that represented what? Those different those different Caesars that came into power, those different rulers. It says that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. So we know that when you read in the book of, I think it's Isaiah chapter 2, it talks about neither will they learn war anymore. So a time of peace is coming, but first, all this stuff got to play out. So we're in the most violent time right now, but the Lord is going to eventually get rid of all the war. And that's when you're going to see the Israelites back in their land, when there's no more war, not before that. So, Lord willing, you got something out of this. It was edifying. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson right there. All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom.